Here we are on a cool Queensland evening. It's a tad brisk. Have I actually mentioned that already? Brisk. I think it was 17 degrees this afternoon at about 3 o'clock. It's appalling. It's almost enough to make someone want to move to somewhere like Iceland. Dang. Sitting out here on the patio, looking out over the cane fields. Oh no, that was just a song. Well, everybody, here we are. We are operational and underway again. Great to see people here. Stephen Reed, I just saw you drop in here. I need to talk to you tomorrow. I'll try and give you a call. We'll be sending out some emails in the next few days with some procedures for people to go through that have won things. So let's get amongst this. Here we are, Gold Monday, 27th of September. End of September already. Not quite sure how we got here that fast. Sure, it wasn't supposed to be like that. But anyway, it's just how it is. We're trying to work our way through the year and get to an end result that we all want to achieve. So we are on a roll, as we'll see later tonight. We'll run through a couple more screenshots of wallets that we're using. So we had just a few things we needed to check with a couple of the wallets we're using. So we will start them in the coming 10 days or so. They seem to be working appropriately and delivering as they're supposed to. So what we're trying to avoid is any process where we get caught. So we're looking at a lot of testing. One of these wallets has been testing for more than 8 months. We've been pretty quiet about it because we wanted to make sure it was all going to work. So anyway, let's get amongst this. Everyone goes forward together, and you'll see by what we're doing, you'll be able to work out that we've now got 2 income streams for our digital arbitrage. And we'll talk about that later. So everyone is going to be making some money in this business. Everybody. Simple as that. You do not have to be a network marketing junkie. You will get well looked after with this business. So welcome, everybody. We hope you are having a great day. I'm not sure what the weather was like in Melbourne. Miss Kate, maybe you can tell us that. Was it cold down there today? It's absolutely almost freezing cold here in Queensland. It was all right?
It was all right.
Cool. Righto. Let's check out this information video. Now, we've made a few moderate changes. We are working on it as we speak, and there's more videos coming. So have a look at this and tell me what you think. Well, there we go. All right, make it marginally smaller and centered. Which logo are you talking about? Malcolm, do you mean the one on the left? Malcolm's just commenting on the a couple of these are right, are marginally smaller and centered. Two on the left. Yep. Okay. Yep. We'll move them over a little bit, give it a bit more room. Okay. Hey, Maxine. Hello. We've had Beata is here. Miss Jan is here. Everybody who's anybody is here tonight. How cool is that? Okay. So we got some modifications coming in that video. I will give it a spare page. They can't be. Spare page on the end again. I didn't. Did anyone else see a spare page on the end? Anyway, we'll work on that. We'll pull it apart again tomorrow and see what we can do. Don't know why that's coming up, Malcolm. It's not even in the presentation. Okay. We shall have to investigate that. Some ghosts creeping into it. We'll tweak it tomorrow. Righto. Let's get amongst this. We are expressing our view as affiliates only of a number of companies. We don't represent those companies and we don't give financial advice. That's our stock standard information for every webinar, so just make sure you understand that. So merchant information. Tonight we're going to talk about fencing services. Mr. Seravalli, down there in good old nearby Barossa Valley, the enclave of Queensland, and he does all sorts of wonderful things. We had a conversation on Sunday about building retaining walls, and you'll see on his website that they have other services, retaining walls, trenching services, and automatic gates. So when I get this block board up here, we might have to transport Mr. Seravalli up here to do the gates. There's his phone number. It's on his website. If you go to his website, you'll be able to see all the other pretty pictures of the things that they've done there. Very cool. Brad does a lot of work around Adelaide and is always busy. Hence, he was out yesterday building retaining walls. So, hey, everybody, why are we here? Well, we're a group of like-minded people focused on ensuring we survive the economic turmoil around us. The world is changing. Absolutely. Daily we see it. We need to pay attention. And I cannot impress upon you enough that there are enough things changing in the world to scare the pants off most people. But we need to stay focused. We have a great roadmap. We are on a roll. We will have the probably best two income earning wallets that we've come across anyway to generate member benefits for people. And we will make sure that you all get access to that. So let's just see where this goes in the coming months. So how is our world going? I've done this most weeks, and this week was particularly outstanding because we're starting to see governments changing their direction. Now, this one is from a bullion company, and their analysis of the situation is unique because they look at the amount of bullion that governments are buying with their central banks. And they're talking about China and India absolutely backing the truck up and buying everything they can get their hands on. In fact, the graph that is in that presentation, and I'll put the links up to all these so everyone can see them in their own leisure and in full. They call it the Chindia graph. So it's quite interesting to see how that goes. $3,000 gold Yep. This is from Kitco News. I listened to it yesterday, and they're talking about $3,000 gold being in this cycle in the coming weeks. So let's all look forward to that. Then you've got Mike Maloney talking about the 10 reasons why he's convinced that silver will go to a triple-digit price. And that's per ounce. So that's got a long way to go. If you look at, I'm going to play a little video in a few moments. I've cut about 5 or 6 minutes out of a Kitco video where the gentleman is talking about where he thinks silver is going. And it's spooky, but will be very exciting for us if that all comes together. So here is Stansberry Research. They're talking about gold price heading for $40,000 an ounce US. And they've got all the maths about why that's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. We're starting to see the US dollar behave erratically, which is making people a bit unnerved. The central banks are still printing money, but we have the outcome. We've got gold and silver. This one is about the contagion of what's happening in the economies of the world and how they're all linked together. So again, in that they talk about holding assets that are spendable. And I can tell you, there's very few that are like gold and silver. And this one's from our man here in Brisbane, and he's talking about why Melburnians are abandoning Melbourne and moving out into the country. And I'm not surprised. I would be very happy to do that myself. Some of you know that I'm looking to move to the country. But in Melbourne, they're in a fair bit of turmoil and they're really looking for a way out. So what's your opinion? You will get to, you'll get the links if you go onto the YouTube channel. You will get the links that come from these particular podcasts, and you can listen to whichever ones you'd like to. But it's pretty interesting. There's everybody talking about gold and silver hitting a new spike. So here's the Kitco News article. You need to pay attention to this guy because he's talking about silver and why he likes it.
Kitco News special coverage of the Denver Gold Forum is brought to you by New Pacific Metals.
I'm Michelle McCory. This is Kitco News coming to you from the Denver Gold Forum in Colorado Springs. And joining us now is Keith Neumeyer. He is the CEO and founder of First Majestic Silver, as well as the chairman of First Mining Gold. Good to have you with us, Keith.
Nice meeting you, Michelle. Our first interview.
Our first interview, and in person, and here in this beautiful setting.
That's right.
So
Beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day, and I'm going to start off with a topic that is a beautiful thought to many, and a notion that you've put out there, which is triple-digit silver. Now, that has gained traction, and a lot of that has been fueled by the momentum in clean energy, this unprecedented monetary and fiscal stimulus, and other people have adopted the notion of triple-digit silver. So break that down for us. How do we get there?
Well, it's nice that I'm not alone anymore, because when I first came up with that phrase close to a decade ago, I was the only one. And that thesis was built on supply-demand fundamentals on the technology of the day, mainly electronics, computers, cell phones, and so on. But today we have two new driving forces, which are electric cars and solar panels. These technologies or these businesses really didn't exist to them for the most part a decade ago. And today I'm even more committed that, I'm thinking, triple-digit silver. I was always thinking I'm on the low end of that, triple-digit silver, but now I'm thinking it's possible to even get, into the higher end of that range.
That's on the industrial side. As you say, silver needed across a range of industries and certainly with electric vehicles. But how does silver play into this notion of inflation, dollar debasement with this unprecedented stimulus that we're seeing? So maybe that would help that push.
That's going to help gold, of course, and then gold's the granddaddy of commodities and or currencies. Call it what you may, but silver will get dragged along. But debasement or not, I think silver still has a very good future based on supply-demand fundamentals. You look at as a mining industry, the miners produce about 800 million ounces of silver annually. You look at electric vehicles will be consuming about 100 million ounces this year. You look at solar panels, another 100 million ounces. So you have two industries that are consuming more than 10% or close to 20% of the world production. Above ground supplies are depleting at very fast rates. The deficit continues. So we've had a decade of deficits. Where's the silver coming from?
Continued demand, increased demand, as you said, especially with mandates to ban gasoline and fuel vehicles. I mean, New York State is signing into legislation a requirement that by 2035 you're going to have electric vehicles. The UK has something similar. Good luck indeed. And yet, even though we have this increased demand, and it's very clear on the horizon that this is happening, the price of silver hasn't been responding as you would expect it to. Why is that?
It's not showing up yet, and I just don't think people get it. And talking about the, what you're referring to about the electric vehicles, there's 1.4 billion cars, automobiles, sitting on the surface of the earth right now. The automotive industry worldwide produces 90 million automobiles per year, of which 5 million of those are electric cars. So, and the electric vehicle business is consuming 100 million ounces of silver annually. So if you're going to replace every fuel combustion car on the planet by call it 2030, call it 2035, call it 2040, how are you going to replace 1 billion cars at the rate of 5 million cars a year? Where's all that silver coming from? So do the math. For every 5 million cars, you need 100 million ounces of silver. So, it's simple. There's not enough silver on the planet that can meet the demands of government.
Is there any way that silver can be substituted, that technologies change and somehow, if this demand is not being able to be met or if prices become too expensive, that there'll be a technological adaptation, if you will?
Mm-hmm. I get that question. You could replace it with gold. That's not going to happen. Look, silver is a very electrically conductive material, and the only second to gold. Copper is very good as well. But, when you're looking at a Tesla, for example, it's got 6,000 fuel cells in it with a computer managing that battery base. These batteries heat up and cool down, and you need a very sophisticated, very fast computer to be able to manage that, case of batteries. You couldn't do it with any other metal. The cell phones, computers, there's tin, aluminum, any potential replacement just doesn't do the job. Silver is not replaceable. And on our website, we say there's no substitute for silver, and there's not.
All right, so there's no substitute for silver. There's increasing demand, even more so on the horizon, limited supply, and yet, as we just discussed, prices have been stubbornly not really moving above 25 recently. And this leads to notions that there is artificial price suppression, that there is manipulation in the silver market, that too many players have too much to lose if silver does go significantly higher, and that, quite frankly, there is not enough physical silver to cover the paper silver. What do you say to that?
You're right.
Not necessarily my theory, just putting it out there.
You said it as best as I could say it. You hit the nail on the head. The fact of the matter is the banks can write unlimited amount of paper contracts. If there's a flurry of silver buying that comes into the marketplace and the banks don't want the price to move, they can just manipulate it. They can just write as many contracts as they wish to hold the price wherever they wish it to be. You look at uranium, for example. Just recently, the uranium's on fire because there's no futures market. That is a spot-based market. And I've been saying for quite some time that we need to get rid of the futures market because that's destroying price discovery, because it's those banks that control the market. The producers should be controlling price, not the banks. And we're not getting fair dollar for the hard work and labor that goes into the production of our metal.
Okay, what's everybody think about that? Martin, I see your question there about replacing silver with graphene. And graphene can be used in the cells for the storage of the electricity, but won't replace where they use it for conductivity of electricity, which is kind of an oxymoron because graphene is very good at that. But they tell me they can't replace silver that's in these cars. Now, that's only about 6 minutes of the video that they talk about, but it was the key bit about silver. So I will make sure to talk about the rest of it later. But the long and the short of it is 20% of our current silver production on the planet is used up in 2 industries. Now, that's with them only making 5 million cars a year. Well, what happens when that becomes 50 million? We are at a limit of supply and demand if that were to happen. So we just need to look out for that. Now, I'll also talk about, you might notice in this video, there's a little play button in the middle of it now. When I render these videos, they display by default a frame that's in the middle of the video when they stop. And that would possibly be because I need someone like Kate, who probably knows a lot more about video production than me, because she's a school teacher, supposed to be smart, show me how to make the end frame be something other than the frame that's in the middle of the video. So I'm researching that right now. Now I've worked out why you think there's a slide at the end of the video. It's not the end of the video, it's actually one of the frames that's in the middle of the video. But we will work with that, and hopefully while I'm doing my research on this other stuff this week, I'll work out how to change that. Okay, every week the economic news gets worse, and it continues to do so. But don't panic, Jonesy. We got gold and silver, baby. And that's what we need to focus on, ladies and gentlemen. We have what lots of other people want. I talk to people globally every few days about what's happening in their market. And it's astounding when you listen to them talk about how bad their economy is, what they're trying to do. Look at Germany. They've just had an election, and the party that's been in power since I don't know how long, but a very long time, looks like they've been ousted in the election. The situation we all find ourselves in is not pleasant at the moment, but we are at least on the right track to protecting ourselves, and that's what we've got to stay focused on. So Mike Maloney made this statement, winter is coming, and he wasn't talking about the winter that we're in now and supposedly coming out of. He was talking about the winter in economic terms. So what's our plan? What are we actually focused on to deal with that? Okay, number one, hold spendable assets, gold and silver. Have alternate income streams, digital systems. We're going to talk about that more in a moment. Have access to safe, secure storage programs, private vaults. We're focusing on protecting ourselves from, we have to be careful what I say here because YouTube gets all bent out of shape. We need to protect ourselves from anything that may happen in the banking industry. And we're on that road. We are well on that road. Lots of things going on in the background right now that will impact all of us that are on this call. And it will be very good news. I'm excited that we're on a roadmap that's delivering for us, and I'll show you why. So last week we showed you the first arbitrage wallet and how it was working. So now I'm going to show you another one. And both of these wallets will be delivering income into the member benefit. So all you need to be doing is buying your own metal. $100 a month, $1,000 a month, doesn't matter what the amount is, as long as it's over $100 a month, or it is $100 a month, you will qualify for this income stream. You don't have to put any money into it to make it work. The company is doing that for you on your behalf, and you'll be getting delivered member benefits. Now you'll see here on the left, at the top there, it says profit in percentage and euros. So it's the currency is in euros. But you'll see here on the left, it's the year 21. That was January. And the next column over is the profit percentage, then the profit in currency, in actual cash. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the column where it compounds. Now you can see that in January, that wallet had 1,371 euros in it after it made 164.52. So that has compounded every month until this screenshot was end of August. So this month hasn't finished yet, so we don't have those figures. But you can see that that's compounded up to 2,943.52 euros. That's pretty damn good. I'm very happy with that. We've been, because this is a left field type of system, we've been very careful to crash test the heck out of it. So we're trying to make sure that this actually continues. We've been testing it since before January. We will show you further numbers as time goes on, but we will be beginning to put this in place for everybody in the coming days. Now, this is not a trading wallet. So the only thing that could potentially crash this wallet is if every cryptocurrency in the world shut down tomorrow. It's kind of unlikely to do that. But this is a system that has worked really well for us, and we're getting more and more comfortable with it as we learn more of the ins and outs, and we will be ramping up the member benefit side of it in the system in the coming months. And if you look really closely in your wallet next month, you just might get a surprise. So you're right, Martin. Wow. That is averaging, that wallet is averaging slightly better than 10% per month on the funds that are in it. So we're really happy with it. It's ramping up nicely. What can I say? We're hoping to get more and more of this done so that we can get member benefits paid into the wallet of our members. Now, remember, none of this has anything to do with the banking system, and we can convert that in your online system, in your AU4U account. That will convert into metal. So on top of the gains that you get from these wallets, you will get the gain from the metal. And that's our roadmap, ladies and gentlemen. We're hoping to put in place a system that builds itself so you don't have to. And yes, Jen, that is a lot better than the banks. So let's have another look at another angle. Here is the current balance. Notice you'll see withdrawable, it says 0, and that's because this wallet is set up for once a month entry and exit. So you will get a text, or we get a text message to say, do you want to roll it over? Do you want to withdraw it? And away we go from there. Currently, that's all been rolled over, and you can see that it was 10.6% in August. For September, you can see the first 2 weeks there, 1.8, 1.7. So who knows what it'll be by the end of the month. but we are really, really happy with that. You can see that that's the current profit, 2,000 euros. What else do we need to do to get people's attention? There's now 2 income streams that will be coming into your wallets, and all you need to do is save your own metal. That's the name of the game. All of these wallets will pay into your account if you're saving your own metal. Simple as that. Here is another look at the report. So in 2021, this is a different view of the wallet. It shows me the options for years. We picked 2021. It then gives us the total net profit. And it also shows us what the return is for the year. That's for 2021. So that's not a mistake. The decimal point is not in the wrong place. But that's the key to what we're doing with the wallets. And I'm really excited to actually show you this because it's been a long time coming, but we did not want to get 2 or 3 months into this and then find a problem. That's why we've taken longer to test it. And it is doing everything we expected of it. And the other wallet that we're currently running up and testing is yielding similar results. And I've got to tell you, it's exciting. Very, very exciting. So all of the testing in both the wallets is now live. We are actually playing with real numbers, not just test numbers that we've made up. To say that we have something very few people have is amazing. Brad Smith has tested this one we were just looking at. He's been testing it for a while. Our friend in New York, Yanni, has been testing the other one and pretty excited by the both of them. So here we go. We are just pay close attention to your wallet next month and you might get a surprise. So this wallet we just showed you will be the second arbitrage side of the member benefits. So there will be possibly another one we're playing with, but not 1,000% comfortable with it just because of the way it works. So we'll see. We've got a number of developers that are coming up with options for us. So Mike said, winter is coming, do this now. It may not be winter right now for our 2 favourite metals, although it's definitely autumn. But if you don't hold precious metal in the coming months, you're going to wish you did. Are you fully prepared for it? History says the next upsurge in gold and silver is on our horizon. And look, don't take my word for it. Get on Dr. Google and have a look. Get on YouTube and have a look. There are hundreds of commentators that are calling for massive spikes in gold and silver because the supply and demand issue is such that they can't supply enough silver. And if the banks weren't able to manipulate the price, it would have already gone through the roof. But that will happen because at some point they're going to run out of money trying to keep the price down. And yes, they will. Here's the challenge. And I brought this up last week and we have not had any takers. There is a prize. Please find me another program where your metal is insured and stored for free. On top of that, you get paid member benefits in metal just for doing your own savings. Now, if you can find me another program that tops that, I'll be interested. But I haven't found one yet. I've had heaps of people that have suggested, no, but if I do this or I do that, this will happen, that'll happen. No, it does not exceed what we're seeing in this website already. Your yield on just being your own saver will be fantastic. We're seeing numbers coming down the pipeline at us that are amazing. We will keep the member benefits reasonably low in the short term so that we can build up a pool and have bigger benefits later. There are many, many options that we now have to take these wallets and create more income streams. We really have, thanks to everyone that's been involved, Brad, Dan, Jan, Graham, Duck, Yoni in New York, Cassie, everybody's thrown around ideas. We threw a lot of mud on the wall when we started. You know, the old wouldn't it be great if discussions that you have with your friends. And we kept coming back to the same thing. Whatever we do has to be built around people saving metal. Yes, you can make more money if you recruit people. In fact, you can make considerably more money if you recruit people. But you don't have to be a network marketer to make this work. You will get an outcome that works for you. So just keep focused and pay attention because we are on the road. So the bottom line is that everything we knew as normal in the past is gone, and it's unlikely to come back as it was before. In fact, I would say it's extremely unlikely that we will ever go back to where we were 5 or 10 years ago. The world has changed. It has changed enormously. We're seeing signs of protests and all sorts of things that really get up my nose, but I'm hesitant to talk about because YouTube's already given me another warning. Make sure you understand the world has changed and we need to be one step ahead. As Dan said, saving in metal is the name of the game. If you've got money sitting in the bank, you are going backwards at a rate of knots. You don't need to be a salesperson to succeed with Gold Rocks and AU4U. You can become your own bank. That's what we're doing. We're giving you all the tools. When our third wallet goes live, where it's attached to the debit card, you will have everything that you need to have to be your own bank. Protect yourself. That's what we're about, ladies and gentlemen. So just a quick run through on our Qual friends. I found a couple of great little videos today. Have a look at this. Those little guys are part of a breeding program down in Tasmania, and they're in a, what do they call that? Predator-free zone. So they don't get chased by things with sharp teeth like foxes. And they're trying to breed them up to reintroduce them to parts of Australia where they've become extinct. They're eastern quolls, those little guys. So it's an amazing outcome that we're helping with, and everything we do chips in to help with that. We're sponsoring another couple in the next few weeks, so we'll keep you up to date with that. The link is in the description of the recording if you can afford to sponsor one. Only costs $60 as a minimum, and you can donate whatever you like with that. Okay, remember, real physical gold and silver. Real physical gold and silver. Everyone goes forward together. Has anybody got any questions on what we talked about tonight? Anything about the wallets? The They will pay automatically into the member benefit program. We're just testing that software now. Don't see anyone unmuting. Cool.
Why do we need to wait till tomorrow, Derek? I've
Mate,
actually got a dental appointment tomorrow that's going to...
Okay, can I call you back on WhatsApp in about an hour?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else got a question? Have a good night. Great. Thanks, everybody. We look forward to seeing you on the golden beaches of the world.